What you're seeing in this Miro board right here is exactly how we were able to cash collect 210k cash in a single month from a tiny audience. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the three pillars that kind of went into it, which are content, the free funnels that we ran, and the backend selling systems. And that means I'm going to show you the exact three types of content you need to post to extract a crazy amount of cash from a relatively small audience, because we did 210k per month of under 50k subscribers across social media. I'm going to be showing you the three funnels that we ran and why it's way easier to scale info offer off of multiple funnels once you surpass 100k per month. And obviously the backend selling systems that we use to maintain insane close rates and show rates in the B2C market. As you can see right here, that's 82% show rate and 72% close rate. But that said, let's get started with the fucking video. So the first thing you have to understand when it comes to scaling an offer, whether you're an offer owner or a marketer, is that you're placing bets on strategies hoping they'll pay off, which kind of means that marketing is gambling, but not in that kind of traditional sense where you go to the casino and put your fucking life savings on red. Because unlike in the casino, you can stack the odds in your favor by controlling variables like targeting, messaging, and budget, right? So really just placing bets and attempting to make these bets play out in our favor and change the variables so they do. Which is why everything that we do at our agency is done to the best of our ability for the bets to play out in our favor, right? And that's exactly why Paul, one of our clients, was able to go from 9k MRR to doing 42k cash collected in a single month and placing in the top 10 of the school games, as you can see right here. And a big part of that was getting the content right, because if you're not running ads, content is going to be your number one traffic source, which means it's going to be a very important bet for you to actually get right, so it actually keeps paying you month over month over month without you having to actually go viral on social media. Again, we had under 50k followers across all social media platforms. And one thing we like to do when it comes to creating content and helping our clients create content is structure it after how the actual market is structured, right? So in every market, we have in-market buyers that needs convincing demo and kind of the non-buyers that are never going to buy our offer. So based on that, we create mass market content, which is top of funnel content. And the goal of top of funnel content, the only goal of top of funnel content, is to bring new people into your ecosystem, right? We don't want to sell them here. We just want to be relatable and growth oriented just to bring them into our ecosystem, because more people in our ecosystem equals to more people to potentially buy, and more potential buyers obviously equals to more fucking cash, right? Then we have in-market content, and the goal of in-market content is to kind of take the awareness we created with the top of funnel content and bridge the gap between awareness and conversion, because conversion is the point where we actually make money, obviously. The way we bridge that gap is through proof and education content, which in turn gives them the confidence to say yes later. And last but not least, we obviously have ready to buy content, which is bottom of funnel content. The only two formats we really post in terms of bottom of funnel are in-person student interviews or client results and personal case studies. And the goal of bottom of funnel content, while it's not going to grow your audience substantially and you're not going to go viral with bottom of funnel content probably, so the goal of it is to turn the interest into income, right? Because this is where the money is made. It's not from flashy cars or lifestyle, but it's from proof and value. So this type of content allowed us to generate the leads needed to do 200k per month. But after we generated the leads, we obviously still had to convert them, right? Because leads alone don't make us money. So we had to send them to one of our free funnels. And one of the free funnels we ran was the free Discord community funnel. And the reason we kind of run the free Discord community funnel for 90% of our clients is simply because it creates a space for engagement, feedback, and nurturing relationships, right? So in other words, it turns the leads who still need convincing into ready to buy leads, right? And it also gives us ownership of the leads that else would keep mindlessly scrolling reels and potentially never come back. And the way we structure this type of funnel is that we obviously have an opt-in page that looks somewhat like this. And once leads actually go on and opt in and give us their name, their phone number, and their email address, they on one hand get retargeted by emails, and on the other hand get called up by our dialer or our setter, however you want to call it, and booked into our calendar if they're qualified, right? And the beauty of this funnel is it low-key runs on autopilot if you have a good dialer in place, so it allows us to kind of be a chill guy like this fucking broccoli right here, right? Now, the second of the free funnels was the VSL call funnel, right? Which is our evergreen funnel of choice, simply because we're pretty fucking good at it, and a lot of our client revenue came from the VSL funnel. But the beauty of the VSL funnel is that it allows us to generate a consistent amount of cash every single day. We obviously have some fluctuations like this graph shows right here, right? But it allows us to generate calls, close deals, and generate cash every single day, right? And the reason we run the VSL call funnel is because we sell high ticket, which means that we have to pre-qualify leads before they hit the sales team. And it's perfect for educating prospects, handling their objections, and framing their expectations, all while warming them up for the call, right? It also gives our sales reps a constant flow of leads, which means their morale is higher, which means everyone is making more money because the sales team is happy. And that's where you run the VSL call funnel, right? The way you structure it is that we obviously have funnel headline right here that I blurred out simply because we take our clients' privacy very fucking seriously. Then we have an optimized VSL where you pre-educate the prospect, filter out serious buyers from curious researchers, and pre-handle their objections and prime them for action, right? That's how we structure the page. Then we obviously have some case studies and testimonials and a call confirm page that I'm going to cover in the free backend selling systems. But the VSL call funnel really is what allows us to have these consistent days for our clients, right? Not just these ups and downs and lump sums of money like we have with the webinar funnel, but actual consistent day. The 17K day right here, or us doing 28K in a single day across all clients, or us doing 8.4K day for a single client, right? That's how the calendar kind of looks once you have a good VSL funnel in place and obviously content feeding into it. But that's basically everything in terms of the VSL funnel, right? Now, in the third funnel was a webinar funnel, right? And there's a very, very specific reason why every guru in the space, at least the big ones, all run a webinar funnel, right? Because with webinars, unlike with VSLs, we don't have that steady amount of cash, but instead we have like that promotion phase where you don't really make money. And then we have a huge lump sum, right? With a lot of people booking a lot of calls. And that looks kind of weird, but that's how it kind of looks like on the timeline if this was the cash, right? So that's exactly what we did for our client as well, booking around 180 calls or 177 to be exact off the webinar directly. So right after the webinar in the same week. And it's also how we generated 77K cash in a single week, right? So the reason we are on webinars is because webinars are perfect to educate and nurture our audience at scale. It's perfect for shifting beliefs, reframing perspectives, and delivering value over an extended period of time. And it's also perfect at building insane authority and trust because it's a live presentation. And because it's a live presentation, it obviously also creates urgency and exclusivity, which obviously equals to cash. And one very, very important thing to understand when it comes to running webinars and evergreen funnels or event-based funnels and evergreen funnels is that in every audience, there's different people with different buying thresholds, right? So someone's buying threshold could be all the way up here, which means they need a lot of education, need a lot of pre-framing, a lot of objection handling before they can actually buy. They actually have to trust the guru on a way deeper level than someone whose buying threshold is all the way down here, right? And by nature, a VSL call funnel isn't built to do a lot of educating, right? To build a lot of trust with the buyer up front. It's rather to scoop up the part of your audience that doesn't need a lot of education. And that has a kind of low buying threshold that's somewhere here, right? So what that means is that if you're only running a call funnel, which we did for this particular offer, you build up that insane amount of people in your audience that need a different conversion mechanism and that need more education, more pre-framing, more trust before they're actually ready to convert. And that's what the webinar helped us do, right? We converted all the people that didn't initially convert on the call funnel. We got them into the webinar and converted them on the webinar, which is exactly why we did 80K cash. And the way we kind of structured it is that we obviously had a webinar funnel where leads could opt in, and we had a sign up confirm page where you added them to a WhatsApp group, ran them through a WhatsApp sequence where you kind of indoctrinate them and shift their beliefs to be conducive to them taking action on the webinar. We do that through WhatsApp and through emails, as you can see right here. And that resulted in 3.9K page visitors. What's that? Like 8.7K signups, 900 live attendees, and 80K cash. We also booked, as I've said, 177 calls and converted 90% of the entire webinar into booked calls. But even after generating all the leads for our content and converting them into booked calls through our funnels, our job still wasn't done, right? Because calls still aren't cash. I mean, we're closer to the cash, but we still have to convert them. They still have to show up and be qualified and ready to fucking buy, right? So that's exactly why we put the free backend selling systems in place that allow us to maintain an insane show rate and insane conversion rate in B2C markets as well as in B2B markets. So that's 104 calls booked, 7 of them no-showed. So that's like what, a 93% no-show rate. That's also how we hit 7 figures on this offer, by the way. No, but the thing is with info is that if you run an info business and you have low show rates, long sales cycles, sales reps saying that leads are called and calls turning into education sessions where prospects just ask questions and educate themselves rather than making the decision, those aren't sales problems, right? Those are back-end selling failures. And back-end selling is everything that happens between intent and decision. So between booking a call and opting, between booking the call and actually showing up on a call, between opting and showing up to the webinar, I think you get the point. And so to summarize, if you do nothing in that window, doubt will fill the vacuum, they'll cancel the call, they'll not show up. And if they do show up, it'll be an education call and your sales team will fucking cry if they take them, right? And that said, there's really three things we want to do here, right? On one hand, an optimized confirmation page. On the other hand, hammer them emails, and then obviously a dialed sales team. Now, and the big principle we kind of want to go after is controlling the narrative. So instead of fighting the skepticism, we build assets, not just a confirmation page that actually embraces it, right? Because the moment someone books a call with you, here's what happens. They don't start fucking celebrating. They don't open up their Dom Perignon. They immediately start doing research, right? They want to know if it's a scam, if it's legit. But especially with all these gurus getting exposed for being scammers, so overall trust in the info product market goes down, right? So we have to help them do their due diligence, and it isn't optional anymore, right? Long gone are the days where prospects bought 5K offers without asking questions. So the only question is whether they do it with us or by themselves, and we obviously want them to do it with us so we can control the narrative. Kind of circles back now. And the way we kind of want to do it is that we obviously have a front-end VSL that does a little bit of that process, but not really. I mean, it kind of frames the offer and educates the prospects, but the main thing here is the confirmation page, right? What we want to have on a confirmation page is actually not how we run them anymore. But the main things we want to have on the confirmation page is a confirmation video that kind of shows them around and helps them do their due diligence. Then we want to have some breakout videos that answer the most asked questions your sales team would like the prospects to know before they even show up, right? So they don't have to keep fucking repeating themselves. And one thing we also implemented recently, just because our reschedule rates and cancellation rates went up, is an offer video and an offer doc. Now, the purpose of this offer video and the offer doc is to kind of walk the prospect through the entire offer and help them understand the average client expected timeline, the personal results, stories from some of our clients, the opportunity itself and why it's different, or how the offer works and what they're getting step by step. I think you get the point. Here's the entire list, by the way, if you want to steal that shit. But that's basically it with the confirmation page. The next thing we want to do is have hammer them emails and SMS reminder. And the thing with hammer them emails is that we want to make them really fucking value dense, right? So it has to be a lot of value, not a lot of us just ranting or talking about random stuff. So how do we make them value dense, right? We center them around these four things, which are questions, second layer questions, objections, and expectations. And that allows us to kind of take the prospect through the entire stage, through the entire 5 levels of awareness, and take them from unaware to being most aware, and basically knowing everything about a product when they show up to the call, right? That's the hammer them emails. And the third thing we want to do is have a dialed sales team. Now, just to be 100% transparent, I don't really do anything with the sales team, don't manage the sales team, but I still know what's going on. And the key to having high close rates and high show rates are these 5 things, right? You want the sales team to review the application properly and not just skim it, obviously. You want to identify where the prospect is mentally, because every prospect is at a different stage in their life and at a different stage emotionally. You want to send them tailored pre-call value, not just checking in texts, because they're already getting checking in texts and like reminder emails from Calendly, right? We don't need the sales team to do that too. And obviously you want to set expectations for the call and also reconfirm intent before the call. Just give them a quick call and make sure they're actually ready to go, ready to show up and ready to fucking buy. And that was exactly how we scaled this info offer to 210K per month, even after doing around 70K the previous month, if I'm not mistaken. So you had barely any momentum. Now, but what I want you to do next is not just watch this shit, but actually go and implement this on the offers you're currently running if you're a growth operator, or implement this to your own offer if you're an offer owner, right? Now, and if you want any help implementing this, you can obviously go check out the description and book a quick 15-minute call with myself and my business partner, or we kind of help you implement this on a more tactical and practical level, give you the exact strategies. Now, we're not going to try to hard sell you, obviously, because we're pretty full in terms of agency clients at the moment anyway. But if it's a good fit for both sides and if it makes sense for both sides, you obviously have the option to do work with us. But that said, go leave a like, leave a comment, share this video. I don't know what else you do on YouTube if you found this valuable. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.